Call the meeting to order and begin with the flag salute. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May be seated.
Buenas tardes, gracias por acompañarnos. Si alguien ocupa traducción, favor de ver a la señorita Irma Melgoza. Gracias. Adoption of the regular agenda. Do we have a motion to adopt the regular agenda?
I'll second.
Motion by Dr. Ruiz, second by Ms. Bruno. Are there any comments or discussion from the board? Roll call, Mrs. Bruno.
Aye.
Ms. Gomez.
Aye.
Ms. San Pablo.
Aye.
Dr. Ruiz, and I. Motion passes unanimously. Item 4.1, Hathaway Elementary School presentation. Mr. Beneke, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Governing Board, Dr. Walker, and district leaders, to my esteemed colleagues, educational partners, guests, and friends, both present and absent. A hearty welcome and good evening to you all. Here in this second slide, we are seeing CASP English Language Arts data from Hathaway. At the top, our 3 previous years of testing, 23, 24, and 25. On the left are grades 3 through 5 with scale score bands. This chart also shows over time a specific group of students beginning in 3rd grade and progressing to 5th grade, highlighted in green. It shows the scale scores and the percentages of students who have met or exceeded the percentage growth. Following the highlighted areas, you see a met or exceeded percentage growth increasing from 17% in 3rd grade to 20% in 4th grade. And by the time these students reached 5th grade, the percentage of students who met or exceeded expectations was 26%. You may also notice that from left to right, from spring 2023 to spring 2025, within the 3 grade level bands, there is relative stability. Hathaway teachers continue to work hard and learn new techniques and strategies to support our students. I want to emphasize that 10 teachers have fulfilled the required commitment of 2 years of letters training, and we have 2 more teachers in their 2nd year of letters. Hathaway currently hosts 20 outstanding teachers, and more than half, 12, from our terrific TK program to our fantastic 5th grade classes are letters trained. We continue to strive to see growth and the potential of our students, the staff, educational partners, and I would like to thank the board and district leadership for their support of this program, especially in these challenging economic times. We really believe it's making a difference, so thank you. Hathaway also employs 3 bilingual paraeducators who utilize the data-based reading program UFly and who extend their support into classrooms from TK to 3rd grade. These paraeducators meet specifically with small groups of students at all levels to help them develop their reading skills. Using their letters training, teachers meet with students who need the most support. Hathaway teachers at all grade levels are dedicated and have been at the forefront of implementing programs, curricula, and methodologies based on the science of reading. You may also be aware that most of our district schools recently completed initial LPAC testing for our littles. At Hathaway, of the 39 kindergarten students assessed through the initial LPAC, 16 attended TK at Hathaway. Of those 16, 6 students are designated as initially fluent in proficiency. These students have well-developed oral and written skills and generally do not require further English language development support after their initial assessment, showing the positive impact of our TK programs. Here we're seeing CASP math data over time, again for a specific group of students beginning in 3rd grade and progressing to 5th grade, highlighted in green. It shows the scaled scores and the percentages of students who have met or exceeded the percentage growth following the highlighted areas. You see a met or exceeded percentage growth from 16% in 3rd grade to 15% in 4th grade. And by the time these students reached 5th grade, the overall percentage of students meeting or exceeding standards was 10%. Overall, Hathaway had a met or exceeded rate of 20.55. You may also notice that from left to right, from spring 2023 and spring 2025, the results from last spring vary quite a bit between grade levels. Math is an area of historical growth for us at Hathaway. And while our recent results are not what we imagined, they highlight a key area of focus for us. As you know, classes change, as do students, and the student expectation levels. Learning is therefore a dynamic process, and we have a clear plan to improve. Specifically, we are working hard this year to enhance our students' ability to use mathematical fluency, which is the ability to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and do simple fractions quickly with automaticity and fluidity. The staff and I believe this critical detail for improving math skills will assist our students and their achievement levels. We have room for improvement on our recent scores, and we are looking forward to working together to improve them this spring. I would also like to add that our vital MTSS leadership team continues to assist in this area, monitoring and analyzing student achievement data in math to develop school-wide SMART goals with targeted actions. For MTSS in the 25-2026 school year, our SMART goals for ELA is, or goal for ELA is to decrease the percentage of students in the critical tier for Ames Web Plus vocabulary, grades 3 through 5 by 5% by May. We're using our letters trained staff to implement a school-wide daily vocabulary routine in all classrooms, K through 5th. Increasing vocabulary is an important goal and will be challenging. However, we remain committed to implementing targeted reading instruction that's aligned with the California Common Core standards in English language arts, and providing engaging literacy activities and research-based strategies to promote reading progress. In the area of math, our MTSS team and staff are focusing on, again, improving fact fluency. Having the confidence of memorizing things like multiplication tables will go a long way in allowing students to focus on other challenging aspects of math, including word problems that are often a paragraph in length on some assessments. Each of these goals will require a commitment to engage in regular progress monitoring of all students. We are challenging ourselves to decrease the percentage of students in grades K through 5 who are at risk and critical in mental computation as measured by the Ames Web Math Screener by May. Based on recent panorama survey data, one of our SEL goals was to improve school climate, and we grew positively by 8% this fall, so we're up to 68% of positive feeling about school climate at Hathaway. So that's good news for us. In the area of SEL, our excellent school counselor, Clemente Bravo, does a great job supporting students, educational partners, and staff. Clemente hosts small group sessions 2 days per week and services approximately 30 students individually. Mr. Bravo also provides direct services to classroom 3 days per week and completes approximately 10 classroom SEL lessons weekly. Mr. Bravo also hosts 2 different parent education series called Love and Solutions, which is an incredible series of group learning sessions for educational partners that last 10 weeks. Parent classes include topics such as encouraging positive choices, redirecting negative choices, improving school performance, and concrete solutions for strong-willed kids. Mr. Bravo also facilitates Triple P primary care sessions with individual parents and supports Cafe con Leche, and also supports Cafe con Leche. Our Wellness Center has been open about a year to students during lunchtime. It was created as an additional safe space where students can socialize, and the space helps contribute to a positive school culture overall. As I'm sure you're aware, our students and community are facing a lot of challenges on multiple levels from many different directions. We are dedicating ourselves to supporting them through these challenging times. Community and Clubs at Hathaway. Every Wednesday at 7 a.m., Ms. Robles hosts a Harry Potter book club for approximately 30 students in 4th and 5th grade. It's awful early for my 4th and 5th graders to get up and be there, but they are super excited, and as you can see from the picture, they like to dress up and really engage in the material. The club is a fun and engaging way for students to improve their reading comprehension, critical thinking skills, and celebrate and have fun exploring engaging literature. Panther Patrol is a group of dedicated 4th and 5th graders. They continue to have a positive impact around campus. They assist in the hallways, the library, and also help our PK students with arrival and are available to assist in and around classrooms. Their role is crucial in maintaining a safe and orderly school environment, and it's an exciting hands-on opportunity for students to learn more about helping others in the Hathaway community. Panther Student Council is also kind of a new group for us at Hathaway, and was established in response to staff and student requests to promote student leadership, boost school spirit, and provide an avenue for student voices to be heard. We also know the council will develop essential life skills, including confidence, collaboration, and a sense of community ownership for our students. Thanks to Shine, which continues to thrive, we have an ever-growing number of folklorico dancers at Hathaway, which really helps increase school, community, and cultural pride. One of the new additions to our outstanding VAPA program is Bollywood dancing. I would say the young lady in the skirt there was performing recently. Students and staff are really enjoying learning lots of new things about language, culture, and dancing. That teacher in particular was really great and brought costumes for the students as they performed. The boys are wearing gold lame vests, and all the students have ribbons, and it was quite a performance. Our Cafe con Leche meetings continue to be a vibrant source of community collaboration and inclusivity. At our family picnics, last Friday we held one. We had 470 guests come to campus, and we have 466 students at campus. So it was a very busy day for us. They're highly anticipated events in our community. And again, it fosters a strong sense of belonging and well-being among students and educational partners. Our PK program. Some of you, or maybe all of you, are probably familiar with it. We'd love to have you come by and visit it. But our PK program hosts 4 teachers, 2 psychologists, 2 speech therapists, 1 occupational therapist, 1 full-time speech language pathology assistant or SLIPA, and 10 paraeducators. That's 20 staff members. And that's as many teachers as we have on campus, right, when you add them all up. Our PK program really is a school within a school. And it's also supported by our office staff, kitchen staff, custodial staff, and bus drivers. Our PK program uses 7 portable classrooms. They have 4 classrooms, an occupational therapy room, a speech and language room, and an assessment room, as well as a psychologist's office, who many people point out I visit too often. But we currently have an enrollment of 42 students who attend 1 of 2 daily sessions, Monday through Thursday. In addition, the students who receive direct instruction in the classroom, our team provides speech and occupational therapy for 11 preschool-age students who require specialized services. Those would be off campus. And as of last week, we have a total number. I know it says 40 students currently enrolled, but we actually have 42. Yeah, and right now we're working on 14 assessments, including IEPs. The team conducts initial preschool assessments, transitions to TK assessments, initial speech and language assessments, and annual IEPs, as well as transition IEPs. Last year, the team completed 56 initial assessments and referrals, which included an IEP when evaluations were completed. In the previous year, Hathaway completed a total of 87 PK IEPs. As of mid-October, we have completed a combined 27 evaluations, and we anticipate another very busy year out of PK. And as I shared, what the team and I love about this program is that it's essentially a school within a school. Students arrive when they are 3, start receiving services and support, and they do great things. Very often our PK students transition into our TK program, and it's not uncommon for students to be prepared to enter general education classes in kindergarten. We can serve more students than ever before and make almost no referrals to county programs, which are costly and often require additional funding. In the end, our program benefits our students, educational partners, and our district. We currently have several students who have transitioned into general education classrooms and are now in 3rd and 4th grade. These students began their educational journey in our PK program. We are very proud of the hard work and dedication of our students and staff. Given the time, support, and staff, amazing things can and do happen. I want to thank our incredible team for their outstanding work, as well as Dr. Walker, Senior Director Barnes, and Program Specialist Epstein for their encouragement and support. And I would also say thanks to Mr. Ragsdale for taking care of us too. In terms of facilities, we appreciate all the hard work of the team and the commitment to our little ones. It is a really wonderful program and should be celebrated by all of us. Please stop by and visit us if you have the chance. That concludes my presentation. I would like to thank you for your time and the opportunity to speak to you this evening. I really appreciate the chance to share about Hathaway. Hathaway is a fantastic group of educators and individuals who, regardless of their position, work diligently to provide our students and community with the best we can offer. We take pride in our work. The staff and I look forward to another successful year together. Can I answer any questions from the floor or the audience?
Does anybody have a question?
I just have one. Do you have any personal theories about why the scores on the SBAC are all over the place? Because you said they're kind of mixed. And
Yeah.
Personal theories.
Well, for one, 3rd grade, right, obviously is the first time they take it, so there's no real comparison for them. And 2, I think that the new CASP questions change over time, and they are very language rich, and that's one of the reasons why we're choosing this year to focus on vocabulary and fact fluency, to assist our students with that. Right, that fact fluency will actually clear cognitive space for them to really focus in on the reading rather than worrying about the math aspect of the questions. If I knew, because I think that across the state there was some data that suggested math scores kind of took a dip, right? Yeah. So to answer your question, I don't. I suspect wiser people than myself could respond.
Well, I'm not responding as a wiser person, but thank you for that. One thing I will note is that Hathaway is one of our smaller schools, and so it's a smaller population. So if you have, a couple kids, change can make a bigger difference than you might see in some of the other schools.
So that makes good sense. So if you look at your slide, that one cohort was
Yeah.
lower than the others.
Yeah.
And so if it's a small number of students, a few students can make a huge difference in that school.
We found that to be true on some of our panorama data. We had a change in practice in one of the classes, and the scores came out much lower than we anticipated, but that impacted the grade level, and ultimately the schools dropped, significantly. So those fine margins are very fine, it turns out. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your time.
I just have one comment for Mr. Benedict, because I can't see you and then not say thank you for everything you're doing for my family.
No.
I'm a first-time Panther mom. I'm very excited. Gemma is at the preschool and she is loving it. And it's something where Rebecca was with the county many years ago, and I loved that experience. Thought it was amazing. But having the school within a school, having Gemma at Hathaway has been even more incredible. From seeing her bus driver, blowing bus driver kisses, to everything has been such a great experience. If I could summarize it in 3 words, it would be safety, inclusiveness, and community. I really have always felt very great at Hathaway since the start of the school year. And thank you to everyone in your team, everyone in your presentation have really helped us a lot this year. Every day I am thankful for everyone.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you put the slide back to her picture?
Oh, yeah, I can. I think, can I? Yeah. Yeah, I would just, that's on the bottom left, they're arriving.
When we passed by Savior's Road, she says, "Mommy, I school teacher, Mommy." She points at Dolly and says she wants to put her a school teacher.
Yeah, it's great. The team there is really wonderful, and they're amazingly skilled. Director Barnes and the district have really created a great team, and the staff team does a wonderful job supporting us. There's some of the 5th graders that are taking the time to read. Some of the visually structured information students are using, and it's a really amazing program. I did also want to say thank you to Ms. Costanza for the opportunity to take our students to Pepperdine. That was really an amazing trip. They got to go see a play at Pepperdine, and we were able to put together some buses for that. So thank you for your generosity and kindness. It was a wonderful
Me,
day.
it was Pepperdine. I just made the connection, that's all.
Thank you. But thank you
I
again.
didn't pay for anything, just
Um,
make it clear. Just the connection, what is that? Partnership,
Yeah.
right?
Right?
That's what it's all about.
Comunidad, right? Community. Okay, thank you.
Item 5.1, oral communications. Do we have any general speakers? Next is CSEA, Mr. Ayala, welcome.
Hello everyone. What's going on in our chapter recently, we had our first round of executive nominations for executive board and negotiation team. This month we're going to have our second round. We have a lot of members that are actually stepping up and want to participate, which is good. Also, we will be starting negotiations with the district this month on the 20th. And we're going to be appointing 3 new members to be our new stewards, our job stewards, for our members to have for support whenever they need them. So we're improving, so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 5.2, written communications. Do we have any? Item 6.1, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting, October 27, 2025. Do we have a motion?
No, he said there was no.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
I didn't hear it.
Oh,
But thank you.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I'm speaking straight.
thank you. They miss you. That's what it is. All right.
I'll move to accept the minutes.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, motion by Ms. Bruno, second by Ms. San Pablo. Are there any comments or discussion from the board?
Just, I assume it was approved, right? Not
Yes.
Call roll call. Mrs. Bruno?
Aye.
Ms. Gomez?
Aye.
Ms. San Pablo?
Aye.
Dr. Ruiz? And I. Motion passes unanimously. Adoption of the consent agenda. Are there any requests from the board, staff, or audience to remove an item or transfer it from the consent agenda to the action agenda?
No.
I do have a comment. Nothing that I want taken off, but should I say it now or should I say it after we approve? Oh, my comment is, who saved us all that money on painting? I mean, that's a lot of money.
I can speak to that when I give my superintendent comments.
Okay, all right.
It's coming, darling. It's
Okay.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Second.
Motion by Dr. Ruiz, second by Ms. Gomez. Roll call, Ms. Bruno?
Aye.
Ms. Gomez?
Aye.
Ms. San Pablo?
Aye.
Dr. Ruiz? And I. Motion passes unanimously. Item 8.1, CAS Results 2025, Ms. Delgado. Welcome.
I was hoping Mr. Beneke would just continue with his presentation tonight. That was really good. Good start. So, good evening, President Costanza and Board of Trustees and Executive Cabinet, and Dr. Walker, and the public. I'm here tonight to present the 24-25 CASP results and how we're using that data to continue supporting our student achievement. So if you take a look, CASP actually stands for California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress. I'm going to talk about the three on my left. I don't know if it's on your left. So our English language arts, math, and science. On the other side, it has the California Spanish Assessment. And we did take that test this year for 4th and 7th graders. Results don't come until December, so I'm sure there'll be some information about it in December. And then the other two that I'm not going to go into tonight is our California Alternate Assessment. We also call it the COB. And those are for students that are cognitively delayed. Usually they're in our extensive support needs classroom. We do English language arts and science as well. So tonight I'm going to talk about the students that met or exceeded. And so this is an overall for the district. And we test in grades 3 all the way through 8. So if you take a look at our English language arts from this past spring, our met or exceeded was at 27, almost 27%. If you take a look at the little chart below, you can see the progression that the students have been making over time. For the math portion of students that have met let me go back. You can see that there's been growth from last year to this year at 1.38%. In the area of math, we had 16% and we had a little decline. You can see that we had a big jump from 2023 to 24. And this is something that I will talk about at the end that we're doing, especially for the elementary schools. So taking a look at change over time, meaning the mean scale score. When students get scores and their parents see it, it's their scale score. So it's the score that they get, and if they are, a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. And the 3 and the 4 are met or exceeds, okay? And what you're actually taking a look at is the mean score, which is the average overall for all students in certain areas. So you can do it by grade level, you could do it by school, you can do it by subgroups. And so we chose to do it tonight for looking at our 6th graders, 7th graders, but now there are 8th graders, so you can see that over time. The great thing about this part is you see growth over time, and then you see the improvement in learning. So if you take a look at the really small print up there, and you take a look at the top row, you can see that 6th graders made improvement to 7th when they were in 7th made improvement to 8th in the area of language arts. Same thing with our math, okay? So over time, they've made improvement. So it's more important to look at that than it is for the scale score, because that's where you see if we're improving as a district. And again, you could take it as any group that you want to do. So we chose to look at our last year's 8th graders who are now freshmen, but over time. Taking a look at just the grade levels from 24 to 24, 25, you can see that in the way of language arts, we had 5 grades make improvement over time, or from the year before. So in grades 3, you can see that they improved 3.5%. 6th grade was at a 2%, and 8th grade again was at 3.21. You'll notice throughout this, our 8th grade has made huge jumps along the way. And so that's why we chose the mean score to look at over time, because our 8th graders, you can see, have been making improvement. In the area of math, 3 of our grades made improvement. Grade 3 was almost at 2%, and grade 8, again, almost at 3%. And again, I'll talk about that at the end, what we're doing in the area of math. The next section is student groups. And so here's a list of student groups. I'm not going to go over every single one of them. But taking a look at our African American group, they scored at 2.19% in the areas of met or exceeded. Our improvement, met or exceeded. Oh yes, I'm sorry. My apologies. Thank you. They were at 33% this year, and from the year before, they've made 2.19% improvement. Our student group for Asians, they were at 81.3% for met or exceeds, and they scored almost 13% of improvement. If you look at our youth experiencing socioeconomic disadvantage, they were at 23.6%, and they did have just a small decline in the areas of language arts. In the area of math, from the year before to this, so this year, our African American students scored at 20% for met or exceeded, so they had a growth of 2.22%. And our Asian student group was at 71%, and they had an improvement of 2.21%. Taking a look at our youth experiencing socioeconomic disadvantage, they were at 13.7%, and they did have a decrease of 1%. When we're taking a look at the multi-language learners, we have the Every EL. So the Every ELs are the students that will always be EL students even when they reclassify. So they're the ELs, the LTELs, and the RFEFs. And LTELs we don't start until 6th grade because that's when they've been here the longest, and that's when their subgroup begins. So if you take a look at their language arts for met or exceeds this past year, they were at 22%. And our students that were reclassified scored at 35.7% in the areas of met or exceeds for language arts. In the area of math, same group, Every ELs, 13% at met or exceeds, and in reclassification, almost at 20% at met or exceeds. So this section right here is, a lot of our schools did improve over time. And so there's just some that I'm going to actually highlight. The first group that we're going to look at is our language arts students. So you can see that Green improved 3.4%. Haycox improved 1.68%. Larson scored almost at 3% improvement. Wainimi almost at 3%. And Beach had a large jump at over 5% of improvement from the year before. In the area of math, we had 2 schools, even though other schools did make improvement. Larson was at 2.43% of improvement for met or exceeds, and Williams scored almost 5% of improvement from the year before. The next section is on science. So science is only tested for our 5th graders and our 8th graders. So this is the overall for all of them together. So they scored at 16% at met or exceeds. And that from the year before, it was almost a 2% improvement from 23-24 to this past year. The huge growth that you're going to see at the next one is just our 5th graders and our 8th graders. Our 5th graders scored at 16% of met or exceeds last year, and our 8th graders had a 5.15. Again, if you're noticing over time, our 8th graders, how they're improving as they've gone, and for science this past year. So.
Can you explain that one? What's 5.15? Can you explain that 5.15 at the bottom? I don't understand that.
So from the 8th graders, from the year before, scored at 10 point something. I don't remember off the top of my head, I just know it was 10 something.
So it's not really on this page. That's why.
Oh, it's not on the page?
Right, because
Oh.
this is just 24-25.
Right.
Oh,
So
sorry,
it has the
yes.
5th graders from 24-25 and the 8th graders from 24-25.
Right. But I don't understand the 5.15.
Yes.
It's not on this page.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, they scored at 10 something.
Okay.
So then you wonder what we're going to do with all of this data that we received. We are committed as a district to educate the whole child, fostering continuous improvement across all schools. And the principals, along with MTSS, along with the other teachers that are, on staff, we take a look at the different initiatives that the district is offering, as well as looking at the data. So Mr. Beneke did talk about, in the area of literacy, the letters training. We had a huge group of teachers in that first cohort that went through. The literacy, so looking at the science of reading for letters. The other part that they're using for the intervention is the U-Fly. That's to build strong foundations for reading instruction. So that's another initiative that we're using. The other part is the language development that all of the elementary schools last year and the year before were SEAL trained. And so they have those areas for the English language arts student, or not English, the English language learners in that area. And as well as our GLAD strategies. So all the schools this year as well are either have been trained at some schools completely, or they're getting trained this year by our own Jennifer Tapia, which is great because it's on site, they don't have to go anywhere, and Jennifer's been trained to do GLAD for us. Mathematics, this is the area that I'm really excited about as a site principal as well. All of the elementary schools last year, Haycox and Hathaway started with the UCLA Math Project and the CGI, which is Cognitive Guided Instruction. And this year, the other 7 elementary schools are getting trained with the UCLA Math Project. They have 3 in-service days. And the exciting part is that the trainers come back and do lab days. And so the teachers, each teacher on site, because they're having 3 depending on the size of your school, are getting trained to go in and do a demo lesson. So the trainer kind of shares what they need to do, and then they actually go in and they pick classes. So they do anywhere between 2 to 3 classrooms on each one of those days. So I think that's an exciting part of it. The other part is that our junior high math teachers are working on the UCSD math project, and that is learning at making meaningful math. And it's wonderful. We, as you know, we have our own Helen Cosgrove back helping with our pilot. So we have 67 publishers that we have to get down to 2. We have 20 amazing teachers in grades K through 5 that are working on it. We started last Thursday was our first meeting, and so we have another meeting this Thursday, And so it's an amazing tool to go through to work on it with the teachers. And it's the first time that we're all in the room together, meaning elementary and junior high, so that we all are on the same language. As well as, the other part that we look at when we're looking at just even the CAS data is the supporting our students. And we do that in the way of with our counselors. Like Mr. Beneke said, our counselors have been working on the Hatchet results, and they go in and teach lessons. And they also have Second Step, and they also have Leader in Me. And every school, of course, is working on attendance. So, are there any questions?
So, the last slide you had, those trainings have been kind of rolling over time, right?
This slide or?
Yeah, this one. You talk about letters, UFly, SEAL, GLAD, the math project, UCLA, and UCSD. Those have been kind of trained over time, right?
Yes, the SEAL.
To a point where most of the teachers have gone through that training?
Well, yes.
Well, let me clarify. So letters,
Well, not letters.
we have finished one cohort of letters, which was 44 teachers. This year, the second cohort is in their second year, which is about another 40 teachers. So it's still not the majority of teachers in letters. In SEAL, it's all elementary schools in SEAL. So at the end of last year, we completed all of the SEAL training. The GLAD, The GLAD training, Jennifer Tapia is still in the process of going through each school and offering that training for people who are interested. So we're still not completely, fully implemented in GLAD either. In the UCLA Math Project, last year, Haycox and Hathaway finished year 1. They're in year 2 this year. And then we just launched year 1 for the rest of the elementary schools.
So that kind of gets me to my real question, which is, are we doing anything to try to see the impact of the implementation? Like looking at the early implementers, seeing how their students are doing in the next level implementers with any of these programs to see what difference they make.
So some of them, yes. So for example, the letters, a lot of the teachers who are in letters, their results would not be showing up yet because they're primary teachers. So that will be more of have to do some longitudinal looking. Now there are some upper grade teachers that are in there, and we have done some looking at it, but not anything that we could really, that I would say would qualify with large enough people yet to really be able to look at it.
That's kind of what I was wondering, is if there's a plan that once you get a critical mass to see what difference it's making. But it is rolling out.
It's rolling out, and I think it will be, especially with this, the letters training, seeing that work its way over time. I think it's going to be a progression over years.
Are we using the short-term assessments, the interim assessments, those as those grade levels at all?
So we were using AIMSweb in K5 or kindergarten through 5th grade, I think. But this year we had to, let me ask here. This year we're no longer using AIMSweb in the primary because we had to switch to M-Class Dibbles because the AIMSweb was not on the list of screeners for the reading difficulties. And so, we always talk about when you add something, you need to take something away. And so, unfortunately, we've had to shift. So we're not able to use that. But in terms of math, we are still using the AIMSweb data for math. Even in the primary grades, we're not using it for language arts anymore. And that's what they're using as interim assessments. Most staff are not using like the IABs. There is some use of it at some schools. Some of the MTSS leadership teams have opted to use the IABs at their school sites.
So are either of those showing any impact of those teachers that are going through training?
I don't think we've looked specifically at that data and compared it to who has gone through letters training, but it's certainly something we can look at.
Otherwise, I think it might be a way to encourage others to take the training.
Yeah, we opted not to start a new letters cohort this year just because it is quite an undertaking. So we have a list of teachers who are interested. if we're able to do another one next year, but it is a very costly program and it's very time intensive as well. It's a 2-year commitment, and then there's a lot of work on the part of the teacher in between each of the sessions. So as we're kind of looking at our dollars right now, it's something that we wanted to think through really carefully.
Thank you. I know it's a complex question, but it's what I've been thinking about, how we're going to know if the money we're spending is making a difference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 9.1, second reading and approval of proposed policy revision. Dr. Walker.
Yeah, so tonight before you have the second reading of the policies that we brought forward at the last meeting. There has not been any changes to any of those policies since you saw them last week. So tonight we're recommending that the board approve all of these revisions and authorize these for immediate dissemination and implementation.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ms. San Pablo, second by Dr. Weiss. Are there any comments from the audience? Are there any comments or discussion for the board? Go ahead, Dr. Walker. Dr. Weiss, sorry.
I'm assuming that board bylaw 9005, we didn't have that before. Is that right? I was trying to remember. And I didn't go back and look at
Let me double check. I
It's
don't
the one that just
remember.
lists the governance standards. They're right on the CSB, and I just wondered if we just didn't have it. I should have gone back and looked, but I couldn't.
I don't think it was a new policy. I think it was just
It's just updated.
it's just
Just
updated.
updated.
Yeah.
Ooh, it doesn't stand there. Okay, thank you.
Roll call. Mrs. Bruno?
Aye.
Ms. Gomez? Ms. San Pablo?
Aye.
Dr. Weiss? And I. Motion passes unanimously. Item 10.1, trustee reports. Mrs. Bruno?
Nothing to report.
Ms. Gomez?
I attended Bar de los Muertos and the Bollywood dance performance. It was, like Mr. Beneke said, amazing. And it was just, it taught Rebecca so many new things that she wants to learn how to dance now. And it was a great experience. I don't think I would have ever done it otherwise, except our district offered it. So thank you.
Okay. Ms. San Pablo?
Nothing to report.
Dr. Weiss? And I attended Café con Leche at Williams Elementary School, which it was well attended, over 25 families, which it was great. They were talking about, we did a financial stress presentation. And it was well being taken by the parents. They asked a lot of questions and they were very intrigued. And then we also talk about, some of the parents came and asked about, the classes for English. And they were asking for, like, if they can bring morning English classes for the parents, as they drop the kids off, that they can stay there for a little bit and then they can learn English better. So that was one of the things that came out. Then we also have the officer who came and spoke to the parents, and they did raffles, and we have coffee, and we have pan dulce. So it was very, very well attended, and that was it for me. Oh, and then I did, met with Winterfest Toy Drive Committee, as we are like a month away from the Winterfest Toy Drive, which will be December 13 at Williams Elementary, from 9 o'clock to 12:30. Everybody's invited, and I hope that you guys, if you have time, to attend. Thank you. And Item 10.2, Superintendent Report.
All right, so to answer Ms. Bruno's question, in the consent agenda, there were 3 change orders for our painting projects, and they were deductive change orders, so that's why she was asking about why we're saving money. So one of the things that we have been doing in our projects is building in a contingency. And so because we've built in contingency, we didn't need to use all of the contingency, and so that's why it's a deductive change order. So that's always good news. Beyond that, so as you've heard tonight, the last 2 weeks we had a lot of Halloween and Dia de los Muertos celebration all over the district, so that was really fun to just see all of the celebrations. Last week, both Green and Blackstock's theater groups performed at the VCOE VAPA Showcase, and I just got a link today of a video of the performance, so I'll share that with all of you so you can see. They really did a wonderful job performing VCOE. They performed 3 numbers from their musical last year. As you heard tonight, last week we officially kicked off our K-8 Math Pilot Committee. The second meeting will be held this week. You saw, our students are still really struggling in math. And so, in addition to having this be the focus of our professional learning, we really want to make sure that we're providing the best materials also. And our goal is to have that adoption in place so that when we are in year 2 of our professional learning, those things can go together so it makes sense to staff. So we're looking forward to that. Tomorrow's Veterans Day, so the district will be closed. I don't know if last Friday, I don't think anyone had an opportunity to attend, but Green did have a really wonderful Veterans Day celebration. It was really exciting and something that they brought. I think the last one that was held was in 2021. It was quite a long time ago. Either 2021 or 2019. It's either right before COVID or right after COVID. And then Hollywood Beach held their Veterans Day celebration this morning. Parent conferences will start right up after Thanksgiving break. So school will be closed from that whole week, Monday through Friday, and then when teachers come back, they go right into parent conferences for 2 weeks. And then lastly, I want to thank Marisol Guillen, because this could be her last board meeting. I talked to Dr. Molinar today, and she is on track to be coming back either the end of November or early December. And so it may or may not be the last one, I don't know for sure, but in case it was, I just wanted the opportunity to publicly thank her for really stepping into the situation. Really everybody, Ms. Delgado has been our CASP director for a number of years, but this is the first time that she's come and presented on the CASP results. So
did we applaud for her?
We did not applaud. So we were applauding for you right then.
Yeah.
And then now you were saying we applaud for Ms. Delgado and her, okay, delayed applause. Okay. I don't want to miss anybody. But everyone has really jumped in during, having to kind of fill up. So thank you, Ms. Kian, for all the extra work and the time and effort that you've been putting into that. And maybe you'll still be here. Well, I know you'll still be here, but you better still be here. But our next meeting isn't until December 15th, so we have a little ways. So, and that's all I have to report tonight.
Thank you. Item 10.3, suggested future agenda items. I wanted to suggest that if we can look into it one of the parents asked me about the English classes for Williams Elementary, just to look at it. I know that Black at nighttime, I believe, right, that they have the English classes, but just to look into it, I did say that I'm going to bring it up and said that, we can just look and see what it does look like and if it's possible or not. Okay. Yeah. The only reason I believe that they mentioned it was because it was really convenient for them that after they drop the kids, that they can stay for 1 hour and, and learn English while the kids are in school. That's what their comment was when I tell them that block staff will offer that at nighttime. Okay, now we will now go into a closed session at 6:54 to discuss labor negotiations and a student matter. Thank you.
Forget. Yeah. He went to the